It's what we've all been waiting for. But at what cost? I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jane.
And this is Bitch and Bach.
Our series where we talk about The Bachelor and bitch a little bit about it. And this was
a little bit about it.
Batch a little bit about it.
It's week 9. Fantasy Suite.
Yeah. And it was Fence Week. My poor boy.
Alright, so let's dive into the recap.
Yeah, so this show started off normal. Started off typical setup, going on a date with Tayshia. I will say that I thought it was going to be a lot more about his virginity. The first date kind of made it seem like it was going to be. All three women going in were like, we're at that place in our relationship where we're going to have sex. And then Colton was like, I'm at that place where I'm going to start thinking about it. So right off the bat, no one was on the same page. Jump right into a date with Tayshia, who I just love. She's so mature.
Hannah G, though she is also only 23, is a lot more mature than Cassie is. We'll get to that one. She's a scammer.
She wronged my boy.
A hacker. An influencer.
So, Tayshia's date. They go on a helicopter ride, which I just love that it's kind of become their shtick that they're always just in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
They were both afraid of heights when they first met, and
they've conquered the fear.
Now they'll do it together all the time.
Tayshia's date goes fine. It's all cute. They sit and have a picnic on the side of a mountain, as one does.
They goof around a little. They talk about the virginity thing in kind of a joking way, but the producers were editing it to make it look like it was a serious conversation. And, like, you could tell Colton was just joking around. No one would talk about themselves that way.
In general, I thought it was just, like, cute. And
yeah.
And it seemed like they really liked each other. And then fantasy suite time.
Mm-hmm. They have a great dinner first where they have a great conversation. He helped her avoid a wardrobe malfunction in a way that was, like, kind of flirty because he was kind of checking out her boobs, but also, like, respectful. I thought it was cute. They have a talk about her past, which I was surprised by. She kind of said that the only person she's ever slept with was her first husband, who cheated on her, and she saved herself for marriage. So even though she's a lot more mature, like, doesn't necessarily mean that, like, she's the opposite of a virgin. I mean, virginity is a dumb construct. But then off to the fantasy suite they went. I was kind of like, oh, so he's just gonna have sex with her, I guess. Like, they're just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. But then they cut to the next morning and they were like, okay, so we did it. And that morning you could kind of tell. I love her. I love Tayshia to death. But Colton doesn't. She says she loved him. And he responded with, and I appreciate that. Which is Colton's way this season of being like, don't feel the same way, but thanks. And then the show takes a hard left. And goes into the Cassie date, which, sorry, Hannah G, you didn't get a date this episode because we're going to spend the rest of this episode on Cassie drama. It starts off pretty normal. They go on a date. They're in Portugal. They walk around. I don't really remember what they did in the first half. I just remember they get to drinking some wine, and then it comes up that Cassie's dad didn't give his approval for Colton to propose at the end of this. And somehow Cassie didn't know this, and it just, like, messed everything up. It made her start doubting everything. It made her really upset. And then they showed the two of them going off to their separate hotel rooms, which they usually don't show. Like, I guess they had downtime in the middle of the day, like, for her to go change from her, like, daytime outfit to her nighttime dress. And for him to, like, also snazz up for their, like, nice dinner. And all of a sudden, her dad gets flown into Portugal and shows up at her door to, like, lecture her about not dating Colton and trying to convince her not to marry him. And she here is, like, acting like, but I really, really like him. It felt to me like that scene with King Triton and Ariel where he's,
oh my god, yeah.
He's like, he's a human, you're a mermaid. And she's like, but Daddy, I love him. Except, Cassie didn't say that. She was like, but I really like him, which I'm not even sure she does that. Because that conversation basically convinced her to break up with Colton then and there. Like, afterwards she was like, well, I guess I gotta break up with him tonight.
Thus far, she's been the only person who hasn't said, I'm falling in love with you to Colton. I always feel like there's always some hesitation, like, for the drama. But I don't think Cassie likes Colton, like, at all.
I think she's physically attracted to him, but, like, we've never seen them have really conversations other than that one they had after the one-on-one that not much was even really said.
So I don't know where this is coming from
on Colton's side. Like, so many women, Tayshia, Kirpa, Katie, Sydney, Demi, all said someone's not here for the right reasons, and they said it was Kaylin and Cassie. And Kaylin, like, it's up for debate. I'm pretty much on board, especially after this episode, that Kaylin and Cassie were not really here for Colton. There's apparently a meme going around that's like Cassie saying, she doesn't say this, but like it's a meme that says, when you go on a show to get Instagram promotions and the boy catches feelings. Like, he immediately at the beginning of their date, he says, she's the one. I love her. I want to be with her for the rest of my life. Which, Colton, what? What is this based on?
All of this happens, and then he's like ready to lose his virginity. We see the shots of him like setting up the room, lighting the candles. He's like, you know what I'm excited for? What's after the dinner?
Oh yeah, he's ready to lose his virginity to Cassie. And then she's like, hey, listen. Did they go to the dinner? Or did they just go to the, like, decorated couch area?
They did. They just go to the decorated couch area. She, like, says she's going home. She's made the decision she's going home. And she, like, starts to talk to him. And he's like, you're the one.
Yeah.
I want to be you at the end. I'm in love with you. You're the one for me. And she's like, I just don't know. And we're all like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, I really don't know. And we're like, what?
And he says, I don't need you to know. Like, it's not the finale. And she's like, but I won't be ready by then either. And he's like, okay, well then we'll figure it out from there. I'm ready to do whatever it takes, regardless of the show, to be with you forever.
She says, I love you.
Yeah, but in a friend way.
Yeah, she's like, I love you. Like, I really love you. I would love you. And he's like, well, we don't need to, like, get engaged. We can just date after the show instead, if that's what you're worried about. Which is like, if that were the actual problem here, then yes, that would have been the solution.
Yeah, she would have accepted it right away. She'd been like, okay.
Yeah, she'd been like, okay, then let's date, because that is the rational response to this situation.
Yeah.
However,
she's looking for any way to get out of there without hurting his feelings.
But, like...
Or without looking like a bad person on TV.
Yeah. But she did anyways.
A lot of women broke up with Colton this season. And I know that, like, sometimes a couple people, like, leave of their own accord. But usually it's not this many.
Yeah.
Which, again, my boy, are you okay? He posted an Instagram today of him and his t-shirt that says, like, be kind or something like that. And he's like, please, everyone, remember this today. But anyway, after a very long time, she finally gets in the limo. I was literally screaming at the TV. I was like, Cassie, I need you to go. I need you to get away from my boy now, because the longer you are here, the worse you are making it. I was screaming, go, just go. And finally she went. And that's when everything we've seen in the promos happens. He went up, he put his coat and his scarf on, he came down, he punched the camera, and he said, I'm done, I need to go, I'm done. And then all the producers, you can hear, like, producer voices going, he's taking off his mic, he's leaving, someone get Chris. And then Chris starts, like, chasing him and yelling, Colton, what are you doing, where are you going, bud? And then Colton jumps the fence. And he open the fence and go looking for him, and they can't find him anywhere, and they're just yelling his name, and he's just lost in the wilderness. He's just gone. They whistle for him at one point like he's a missing dog. Other dogs are barking. chaos is happening. He's gone, and then it says to be continued. He's just, I mean, we know he's alive, and they found him, and he came back for the Women Tell All, but, like, if you didn't watch the Women Tell All, and to you, he's just still in the woods somewhere.
I guess we have to get into predictions. I think he goes back to her. I just am very afraid of what's going to happen if he asks her to date when she's clearly just not interested in him.
They're going to break up very shortly because she's not going to want to keep dating him. I think in that conversation that she had with Kaylin where they were like, one of us will win and one of us will be the Bachelor, I think Cassie was hardcore thinking Kaylin will win, I will be the Bachelorette. Like, what are the things that possibly could happen? He could try and propose to Tayshia or Hannah G, and it will feel insincere, and I will be worried about him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's happened in the past.
I could see him maybe, like...
He could choose no one.
I could see him maybe asking Hannah G to keep dating if Cassie says no. Because I think he could get there with Hannah G. It's just that he was so pigeonhole focused on Cassie that he, like... Because he said that he decided this on the last date. And then just didn't think of Tayshia or Hannah G as an option.
Okay, so Women Tell All. Which also should just be called the Who's That Woman episode? Because...
Who was
I never remember the women from, like, before week 4. Like, in the first, like, 15 women, they're like, it's this woman, and this woman, and this woman, and just sit going there going, who? Like, I didn't remember there was someone with my name. I didn't remember there was a Jane.
Mm-mm.
Who was Jane? She was bothering me this whole time. There's always someone who gets eliminated like week 1 or 2, but still thinks that they're important enough to have an opinion on everything and like is incredibly vocal, and everyone's like, who are you? Why are you talking? This episode just reminded me of all of the drama we've been through. The Onyeka Nicole drama.
We just forgot about all of it because we were so concerned about the last 2 weeks.
Women Tell All was just like a recap of all of the drama that we forgot about from this season. It really reminded me that I love Demi. I love Hannah B. The bloopers were funny.
Chris Harrison and his bloopers.
What are some like closing thoughts?
Thoughts. I don't want him to end up alone, but I don't want him to end up with Cassie.
Well, if he ends up with Cassie, I'm sorry, but he is going to end up alone. Because she's going to dump him after like a month. That was a highlight of the Women Tell All, was Demi and Hannah B. They were so like supportive of the other women. Mm-hmm. It was just like...
I love when the women of The Bachelor
team
become
up.
friends.
DM us on Instagram. If you have any thoughts, comment on this video. I love to chat Bachelor with people. Reach out to us. I'd love to talk to y'all. Like, subscribe.
Share with your friends.
Share with your friends.
Goodbye. See you next week for the finale.
Shout out to supporter and first-time Bachelor viewer, Melinda Graber. Love ya. Behold.
To Paint Therapy, a weekly show where we're into happy little paintings inspired by our friend Bobby Ross.
I don't believe he did that, Sky. Prove to me you're a good painter, Nick Viall.